Hello everyone, my name is Rajan Singh and today I will be presenting my final project on COVID-19. Specifically, I will be talking about a research article that I have analyzed an outbreak in Beijing during 2022. I will be walked through the biology of the virus, symptoms, treatment, vaccines, and finally connect everything back to the findings from the article. So, firstly, we will discuss about article main the virus. So, is the COVID-19, the same virus that caused the global COVID-19 because it was the article name is SARS COVID CO2 CoV2, so it's based like the global coronavirus. So the study focused on Beijing's outbreak in late 2022 to figure out whether a brand new variant had emerged when they was found that the surge wasn't due to anything new at all. It was caused by two unknown Omicron subvariants. The first one is BA.502 and the second is BF.7. These variants were already circulating globally, so the Beijing wasn't dealing with a mysterious or unique virus. It was just the rapid spread of existing ones after the restrictions were lifted. So basically, it is a DNA or RNA invalid or not. So it is a positive sense single stranded RNA virus, which means that the virus can start making its protein right away once it was spread to the cells. It also has an invalid virus, meaning it has a fatty membrane around it. This envelope helps the virus fuse with the human cells, but it also makes the virus more fragile outside the body. That's why things like soap are super effective at destroying it. So, what the cells virus infect? The virus infect cells that have ACE2 receptors. These receptors are found in several places, but the key targets are the type 2 lung cells, which help to produce surfactant, nasal and airway epithelial cells, which is why it spread so easily from one person to another. The third one is cells in the intestines. So the virus mainly impacts the respiratory system but can affect other systems too. So in this we will talk about the symptoms of SARS-CoV-2 infection. Symptoms during the Omicron wave were a bit different from earlier variants. People often had sore throat, congestion, cough, and fatigue. Fever was still common, but the loss of smell happened less often. Omicron tended to stay in the upper airway rather than moving deep into the lungs. This made symptoms somewhat milder, but contributed to extremely fast spread because people were still spontaneous even with mild illness. How long the infection lasts? So in our sixth slide, we had talked about the it is lasted from 4 to 7 days. People often feel bad after a week also, but the early part of infection is when the virus spread the most. Even though symptoms were shorter, the virus moved through communities very quickly because of how contagious it was during the first few days. So, in some slide, we will talk about the its situation in Canadian right now. Basically, COVID-19 is still around and circulating globally, but its severity and overall impact are much lower, mainly thanks to vaccines and immunities from pre-infections. WHO still monitors variant changes closely because uh, SARS-CoV-2 continues to mutate. In Canada, we continue to see seasonal surges, especially in colder months. But overall, cases have been more stable and generally declining compared to the earlier waves. So, what are the common treatments to cure this one? So, the main antiviral used today is Paxlovid to cure this. By blocking up protease enzyme, the virus need to replicate. Remdesivir is another antiviral usually used in hospitals. Most mild cases doesn't require medication. Rest and hydration are enough only. But antivirals are very important for old adults and people with underlying conditions because they reduce the risk of hospitalization. So, so the vaccines and their different types. Vaccine remain the main defense against COVID-19. The most common vaccine in Canada are mRNA vaccines like Pfizer and Moderna. These teach our cells how to make the spike proteins so our immunity system can recognize it. Other countries use inactivated vaccines which contain virus. So now we will talk about the boosters that have been updated to much newer Omicron variants. Even though vaccines don't completely prevent infections, but they dramatically reduce our outcomes. So there are the multiple treatments that have been used. So when people get affected by the COVID-19, they have mild cases, but they don't need the proper treatment because high risk patients need the proper treatment to cure from the COVID-19. There may be prescribed oxybil or hospital or remdesivir. Monoclonal antibiotics used to be widely used, but many don't work as well anymore because Omicron mutated to escape them. So treatment today relies mainly on antiviral plus prevention through vaccinations. So next we will talk about the main message that we get from the article. The main takeaway from the article is that the Beijing 2022 outbreak was not caused by a new variant. The study used genomic sequencing to track the virus and found that the BA.5.2 and BF.7 were responsible for the majority of cases. The surge happened because China lifted its strict zero COVID policies, allowing these existing variants to spread quickly from a population that had high vaccine coverage but limited natural infection exposure. Moving to the 12th, why we are agree with the article. So, yes, I'm agree with the article because it finding are consistent with what the WHO and other countries observed at the same time. Restrictions were lifted in other regions like parts of Europe. Omicron also spread very quickly. The sequencing method used in the study are standard and reliable, and the variants they detected were already being tracked internationally also. So, things with the not agree, I'm disagree. The only thing that I have in the question limited time window and the focus only on the Beijing only. A longer timeline might have been directed on the introductions of new variants and because China is so large and diverse, studying only Beijing doesn't fully represent nationwide circulations. But overall, the conclusion still seems strong and supported by the data. So in the last two style, we have used only the article references from which we have taken the data and the authors clearly seen their claims. The references like genomic database like GISIT include political trees and cite other peer-reviewed studies. This transparency is important because it lets lenders check where their data comes from and confirm that the lineage is identified much global databases. So that's all my vast presentation. I included a screenshot where you will able to easily find the references. Thank you. And the background that I had used is of WHO. Thank you.